Hello, this is Olena of popthepimple.com and welcome to today's live pop talk where we meet up every weekday at around 3 p.m. Paris time to talk about stuff like skincare, spirituality, self-love, self-acceptance, feeling sparkly AF, tending to your vibration, feeling good first, things like that. Hi guys, good to see you. Ooh, where the sun met the moon is here. Good to see you. Shrak Akram is here. Hello everyone. Hello, good to see you. Alrighty. I just had a routine review with somebody in Lebanon. New country, yeah. I'm so excited whenever I have a client from a country from which, how do I even, when you have a brain fart moment, that's what I'm having right now. Yeah, I've never worked with anybody from Lebanon specifically before. She's lived in Canada before, but now she's living in Lebanon. Yay! Alejandro is here. Good to see you. Bright Eyes, hello. Only Glad Days is here. Bethy Bobana, Pia Henrietta, Sumit Devi. Hi, guys. Hi. I hope you're having a beautiful day. I am so far. I'm wearing my new Olena necklace. I hope you like it. Oh my God. Alejandro says, happy for you. Yes, thank you. It's so exciting to meet people from all around the world in my routine service. Like literally all over the world. I've been everywhere. I've been in India, I've been in South Korea, I've been in New Zealand, not like literally, but I mean via Skype. So I've been kind of all over. Anywhere else cool? Cairo, that was really awesome. Otherwise, North America, Europe, Berlin recently. When was it? Was it like Monday, Berlin? Yeah. Bethy Bobana says, the necklace is so cute. Thank you. I thought that this Olena necklace would be great for when I'm meeting new people, because for people, it's much easier to remember your name when they can actually see it written down, especially if it's a name they've never heard. Like Olena is a name that some people have never heard before meeting me. So Olena, or they just say something totally different, right? So I thought this would be like a fun little networking necklace, like when I'm out at parties or whatever. Not that I go out to parties often, but you know what I mean. Alejandro says, big hug. Life is wonderful. Thanks to your advices. Yay, Alejandro. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to hear it. You deserve it. He says, you are the best. See ya and love ya. Love you too, Alejandro. Have a beautiful day. All right, so a few things I want to discuss today, but if you guys have any questions, you can always write them in the comments below. That's why these pop talks are so awesome, because you can join me live and you can participate and you can, be a part of the discussion, which I really, really love. Hi, XXRin, Maureen, good to see you. So, today I wanted to talk about your point of attraction, and what I'm talking about is the law of attraction. That's what I mean. Your point of attraction in terms of the law of attraction. The law of attraction is a really important thing to know about so you can use it, because when you use it, you can have like a really sparkly, amazing life, right? More sparkly even than my necklace. And many people don't know about the law of attraction and or don't fully understand it, and therefore end up kind of using it backwards, and therefore they end up attracting shit that they don't want into their experience. And today I want to talk about the law of attraction specifically as it relates to acne, your health, and stuff like that. I mean, literally it relates to everything in your life, but I think that this is a really missing key piece in the conversation around acne, the law of attraction. I know. And this isn't to be like spiritual or woo or anything like that. This is literally how everything in your body works. Like this is proven through biology, through psychology, like through physics, all this shit. It just works the way it works. And anybody who tries to fight the law of attraction instead of use it, you end up losing. You end up losing each time because it's law, okay? It's not a principle, it's not a theory, it's not, the theory of attraction. No, it's the law of attraction for a reason. And it's something that I truly believe in because I see it in my day-to-day experience all the time. Like, it is so fucking cool when you know how to use it, because then you just get what you want, like, more often than not, And not just that, you don't use it to manipulate your circumstances. You use it to become your highest self, right? And when you become your highest self, you become your happiest self, your most sparkly self, and you become that more consistently. And the more consistently you become that, the more fulfilled you are being her, right? And so obviously you get everything you want when you are your highest self, when you're truly tending to your vibration and using the law of attraction to your benefit, right? So let's get into the law of attraction as it relates to everything, right? So the law of attraction is just this: what you focus on, you get. What you focus on expands. Your good thoughts, they attract other good thoughts. Your negative thoughts, they attract other negative thoughts. But beyond that, if your good thoughts attract good thoughts, they also create a positive state in your body and a high vibration. And so whenever you're vibing high, you attract other things that are also vibing high into your experience. So when you're vibing high and feeling good, things that come into your experience are often fucking awesome, okay? But when you're vibing low, you're usually attracting things into your experience that are not fucking awesome. They're usually the things that you do not want. How does this relate to acne? It's so fucking important. Like, I just can't. This is why so many acne sufferers end up continuing suffering. And they don't realize why, because this isn't part of the normal conversation, right? This stuff is kind of like, oh, it's not important. Oh, the law of attraction, who cares? It's like, I fucking care. And you should too. Because here's how the typical acne sufferer does it. The typical person with acne, I hate calling it an acne sufferer because that's like the worst fucking stupidest label ever. And I understand that acne can feel like a suffering. I've certainly suffered at some point with it. You know what I mean? But I have totally revamped the way I speak about the subject and the way I feel about the subject as well. And that was very important in my healing. If I continue to talk about how much I suffer when I get a pimple and all this shit, what a struggle it is and how horrible it is. Oh my God, acne's the worst thing ever. If that's my narrative around it, then guess the fuck what? I'm gonna create so much acne, so much struggle, so much suffering that I'm like, I'd rather not. I'd rather just really kind of see the positives and everything, and fix my relationship with my past and everything, so that. But I'm going to get too complicated. So let me get back to the subject at hand, because I was about to go on a very complicated tangent of time, and so we're not going to do that today. Oh man, but I do have a really good one, a really good pop talk on the subject of time in the More Than Skin membership. If you guys are interested in unpacking these things in more detail and like learning more about this stuff, because I go deep sometimes. Okay. So the typical person with acne feels bad when they get acne, right? And their focus becomes the acne. And not only that, their focus is like comparison. Ooh, I see a person with clear skin. I look at myself. My skin sucks. Why does my skin suck? Why does my skin suck? What can I do? Oh my God, my skin sucks, right? So that's the point of attraction that you are holding on to, or the vibe that you are choosing when you get acne first, right? And you're not realizing that you're allowing something outside of you, acne, to change your point of attraction, to change your vibration, to become your source, right? Instead of you being independently happy with who you are and seeing acne as something, that's happening, sure, but as data, right? Like, oh, okay, this is happening to me. What can I do? Like a more neutral stance around it. But instead, what we end up doing is giving the acne a shit ton of meaning. And this is where the trouble begins. In the whole acne journey, that's like in the beginning, when we start giving it all this meaning about us, That is literally where the trouble begins and why the trouble lasts as long as it does, right? Because so far I've worked with so many different people with acne, and some of their journeys are like 20, 30 years long. And I'm like, how the fuck is that even possible? How have you been dealing with acne for 30 years? Like, to me, that's like a little over the top, right? And we'll unpack why that is kind of strange later on as we go. But when you get acne and you start associating all this meaning to it, you say, oh, I'm not, good enough because I have acne, right? Oh, it means I'm sick. Oh, it means there's something wrong with me. Oh, it means that genetically speaking, I'm fucked. Or it means I'm stuck with it forever. Or it means I have to really control my outside circumstances and try to get rid of this acne and manage it for the rest of my life. Oh, it means that, I can't go out there and follow my dreams because people are going to point at me and laugh, right? Like, we create so many stories. Like, many of us, right? Raise your hand if you've ever missed a party or a social gathering all because of acne, right? You didn't want to leave the house because you got a few pimples. By the way, what's interesting is that this is true for, like, if you have one pimple or if you are covered in pimples. People do this. As in, the amount of the actual acne, the severity of the acne, doesn't really matter so much as just having the acne. This is what I found with everyone I've spoken to about the subject, because there's been a shit ton of people so far. And yeah, it's really not about the severity, it's just about having it. Because once you get it, you have this thing to hold on to, right? A reason of why things aren't turning out the way you want them to be, right? And then the more you focus on it, the more meaning you give it, the longer it lasts, because the law of attraction, when you focus on something, it expands. It's all about our focus. Everything in life is where you focus your attention. This is why I talk so much about meditation and try to, compel you guys to meditate, because that's a way you practice focusing so that in your day-to-day life, you can focus on the good rather than the shitty shit that you don't want, right? But anyway, so acne then teaches us, because we're not aware of this, right? So when we get it, we're doing certain things, we're focusing on certain things, and this behavior of obsession over the pores and over the breakouts, that literally teaches us, like, creates a neural network in our brains, literally teaches us, conditions us to focus on the little things instead of looking at the big picture, to focus on what you don't want instead of looking at the big picture. And it can, unless you're a really positive person and you're, like, able to see through it all, you will feel this way. I felt this way, right? Like, I was obsessed with my pores once upon a time. Like, that's all I could see. I could never see the big picture. And when you can't see the big picture, when you're looking at, when you can't see the forest, you can only see the trees, you then get a very skewed perception of the trees. In this case, your pores, right? When I was younger, I thought that my acne was way worse than it was. Looking back at pictures, I'm like, holy fuck, that's what caused me so much distress. Like, are you fucking kidding me? It actually wasn't as bad, and it wasn't as consistent as I imagined it to be in my mind too. Like, the story I brought with me into my, future, into, kind of now-ish, but in the past, I don't know how to describe it. The story I brought along with the acne was that it was consistently bad, that it was consistently something to be ashamed of, when it actually wasn't. That was my perception of it. But what I'm saying is that when we get the acne, our perception of ourselves begins to change, and it doesn't become more realistic. That's what I'm saying here. It gets more detail-oriented in a bad way. We become greater perfectionists. And I see this all the time because I have many clients that come to me for help that have skin as good as my skin, okay? Because they had acne back in the day, and they still think that today their skin is not good enough. that they're not good enough. That's really the key here, the not good enough. That is what most people with any problem in life, not enough money, not enough health, not enough love, not enough, clear skin. That's what it comes down to. Not enoughness. We all feel this like, fuck, if I can only crack this magical code, I could be enough, But we all have different aspects of that in our lives. For some people, it's finding the right partner, they'll feel like they're enough. Some people, it's getting the exact amount of money and then they'll feel enough. For some people, it's getting, attention, adoration, whatever, and then they'll feel more enough. And for a lot of us, it's having clear skin that makes us think that once we get the clear skin, we will feel like we're enough. But here's where we run into trouble when it comes to the law of attraction. Because when you have that void to fill and you feel like you're not enough because you have the pimples, right? You're already focusing on them. You're already creating more of them. And you have this deep void inside of you that you think that can be filled with clear skin. But it cannot. The law of attraction will not bring something to you if you need it that badly, right? Because you don't actually need it. You don't need anything, right? You are a full, complete, whole, enough being. You're a deliberate creator, but here you are forgetting all of that. You're forgetting who you are. You're disconnected from yourself because you can't see the big picture. You're so poor-oriented that you cannot see the big picture, right? Who you really are. And so the more you lose yourself in this illusion, the more distance you create between who you are. And guess what? That distance is what causes you to feel, empty inside, ashamed, not enough, all these things, sad, upset, guilty, resentful. The more that distance grows between you and the big picture of who you really are, the more shitty you feel. And the more of the acne or whatever it is in your life that you're not happy with, the more of that you create. Because literally that's what you're always thinking about and focusing on. And so the only time that the void can be filled is when you realize that there was no void to begin with. When you stop putting all your energy into something like that and start actually being happy and grateful for no reason, right? But many people with acne, they don't do that because it's like such a struggle, like I need this desire to come true. And if I don't, I'm like incomplete, like I can't be happy. You don't give yourself permission to be happy without having the outcome like come into your awareness, reality, whatever, right? But the more you do that, the more you choose to see things that way, because it is a choice. It's always a choice. The more you choose to see yourself as incomplete or unworthy or not enough right now, the more you block whatever it is that you want from coming into your experience, whether it's the clear skin, the abundance, the love of your life, right? You notice many people, they're like, oh yeah, he just came out of nowhere and we fell in love. I wasn't looking. That's when it happens. When you're having a shit ton of fun and you're experiencing life to its fullest and you're not obsessed with getting this outcome or that outcome, that's when it actually is able to come in because you're allowing it in. Because when we're focused on the outcome and making it our source for our joy, right? I can't be happy unless, I can't be happy until, right? All that. When we do that, we are blocking that which is natural to come in, because the clear skin is natural. Your skin wants to be clear. Your body wants to be healthy. You want to be abundant. Like, this is all natural. You want to be super loved and you want to love the shit out of your partner. These are natural things. They're not strange. They're available to you and I always. But we have to become aware of how we're blocking this shit. And so many people are blocking it in really big ways, to the point where they don't see that they've already gotten the thing that they wanted. I see this all the time. all the time. This is like no longer a surprising phenomenon or anything like that. And I know I can so relate because I went through the exact same thing. I actually had clear skin for like, I don't know, a decade until I ruined it again because I didn't believe that I had clear skin. It was clear. It was fucking clear for like a decade, okay? I've hacked acne, it seemed. Or maybe it was less than, maybe like 8 years. But anyway, I had clear skin consistently and I did not know it. I thought that every time I got that one pimple, one random pimple, maybe it was 2. It's okay if it's 2. It could be little blackheads here and there. I thought that meant that I still had acne because, again, I'm bringing it back to the beginning, I was so pore oriented. Because when you're looking at something like this, you don't see what's behind you and around you, right? That was me for a long ass time, for like 8 years. Even longer because even then I got the acne and I'm like, oh my God, it's coming back, right? Even though I didn't have it, I created it because I was so in disbelief that it could even be a thing for me to have clear skin, that I had clear skin and I didn't even realize it, okay? So learn from my fucking mistakes. This is the law of attraction right here. It's like you're in a bright room and consider the light in the room, the love, the abundance, the health, the clear skin, okay? Consider that this bright room that you're in. When you're feeling good and you're vibing high, your eyes are open, you can see the light, okay? You can see the light. But when you're vibing low, when you're so focused on something that's wrong, that you don't like, that's the equivalent of you closing your eyes in this bright room. And again, the brightness, the light is the love, the abundance, the clear skin, the health. Everything you have ever wanted is that light in that room. But when you're vibing low, you are literally closing your eyes to that light that is available to you at any given fucking moment. And that is why tending to your vibration is so fucking important in terms of the law of attraction. Your vibration is simply how you feel, okay? Do you feel good or do you feel bad? Are you allowing or are you resisting? That's all that it means. And our emotions are our internal guidance system telling us whether we're allowing or resisting. Okay? That's all that it ever means. It doesn't mean that, your life is going down the toilet just because you're feeling shitty in a moment, right? It's an internal guidance system. And this is stuff that we're not taught in school, so when we're feeling bad, we're like, oh my God, I'm feeling bad. Oh, it must be because I'm mad at you, or you did something to me, or it's this fucking situation that sucks. No, it's literally the thoughts we choose to think about the situation. It's the thoughts we choose. But sometimes we don't choose the thoughts. And so they play out on autopilot. And then those thoughts create our state. And then from that state, we're informing our point of attraction. And this is what I started this video talking about, right? Or this pop talk. Our point of attraction is very, very important. Is it a positive point of attraction or a negative point of attraction? And so when you're feeling good, that's a positive state of attraction. So you're attracting all the things you want. You're allowing them in. They're literally like, oh, yes, finally, she's fucking opened the doorway. She's having fun. She's focused on fun shit. We could now bring in all the cool stuff because it's vibing on the same level that she's vibing at. Yes! Right? But when we're vibing low, that's a negative point of attraction. And what a lot of us do in our day-to-day lives is we fluctuate. Positive point, negative point. So we're allowing, then resisting, because our thoughts are all over the fucking place. We're so fucking inconsistent. We have 70+ thousand thoughts. Is it thousand or million? I think it's 70,000. 70,000, okay? Thoughts a day. Most of them are bullshit. And most of them are inconsistent because that is the nature of the mind. It will look for ways to save you. It's a survival mind, right? It's worried for you. From that worried mind, a lot of your thoughts are worried, negative, whatever, angry, resentful, sad, but like future-oriented, past-oriented. And so that is then your point of attraction. So many people, they spend a lot of time thinking about past hurt. Oh, he hurt me 15 years ago. Oh, now I can't move on. I can't trust men. And that's the story. Guess the fuck what? That's a negative point of attraction. So that person is creating more of that in their lives. This is the same with acne, though. The people who have had acne, like I told you, they have learned certain neural networks and they've created certain kind of thoughts and states, therefore, right? And point of attraction around acne, right? Because when you first get it, you're like, oh, I don't know what's going on. Oh. And it's like a panicky, frustrated, like, what the fuck kind of point of attraction, right? That's where your thoughts are. That's where your state is. That's where your point of attraction is. So you learn that shit. Your brain learns it, okay? And so when you grow up, and maybe you grow out of it, maybe you've had amazing skincare, maybe you've been taking really good care of yourself, like you're a pretty well-adjusted human being, but then the thoughts come up, right? Because you haven't dealt with them, you haven't told a different story, so the old thought pattern comes up. And where does your point of attraction go? You might be feeling really good about yourself one day, and then you get a pimple. Point of attraction plummets because you feel shitty now, because that pimple activates an old thought pattern in your brain, right? Oh my God, what's going on? I'm so ugly. I feel like shit. Oh, I can't leave the house. I don't want anybody to see me. People are gonna think that I'm so like pimply and shit and like ugly or whatever. I don't know. We all have our different records that we play in our minds, right? But they're just old thought patterns. And so that's what I'm talking about when I talk about focus and about point of attraction. When we're vibing high, our point of attraction is positive. We're getting everything that we want. We're allowing it in. We're allowing the clear skin in. But then a little thing happens outside of us, and we give our power away to that thing, and we drop down. Our vibe drops. We don't tend to it anymore because, again, we've become consumed. It's like when you're focused, instead of being super big picture and looking at everything, like I'm just a human on this ball of dirt rotating like fucking around the sun at a really high speed, and then like here I am focused on a pimple. Do you understand the difference? What a big picture view gives you and what a really narrow view gives you. Totally different experience. But that's what we've learned to do, is narrow in on the thing that we don't like, thereby shifting our point of attraction to that thing that we don't like. And so when tomorrow you wake up with another pimple and in 2 months you wake up with a shit ton of them, this is why. This is very important. I mean, today I'm not talking about skincare. I'm talking about your point of attraction because this is so fucking important. Where is your focus? And then the other thing that's really important to note here is contradicting thoughts about something. Because, for instance, some people, they believe that they're ready for the clear skin, and yet inside, they're still so afraid. They're afraid of the acne so much, which again, I can totally relate to all of this. I've been through all of this, right? But when you're thinking opposing thoughts, you can't get the thing that you want, okay? You can only get the thing that you want when you are vibing at the level of the thing that you want. So the clear skin is here, but the fear around the acne is here. And if you're experiencing the fear while thinking about clear skin, then you're associating fear with clear skin. And so therefore, these two things, they're just on opposing ends of the spectrum. But the fear is stronger because it's your feeling that is stronger when you're attracting rather than your words or your actions. And that's why when you are so out of alignment with who you really are and you really are narrowing in on the thing that you don't like, right? And you're just thinking, oh my God, all this sucks. I hate my life. Why does my fucking skin break out? Like, I'm so tired of this. I've been doing everything. I've tried everything. Exactly. You know why that is? When you try stuff, when you do stuff out of alignment, you get more of that. You don't get the clear skin because the clear skin is out of your reach when you're out of alignment. The solutions, the things pointing you to the clear skin, the people who can help you get the clear skin, they're out of reach because they're vibing in a different place than you are. So many people with acne, right? They feel bad about themselves. And they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. But this in itself is what's so fucking detrimental, because when you're feeling bad about yourself, when you feel like you're not enough, when you feel like you don't have permission to enjoy your life, you end up attracting, because that's your point of attraction, you end up attracting the really shitty answers to the problem, right? The shitty ideas, like the fucking, I don't know, alkaline soaps or the oils, the jojoba oil and the argan oil, right? You start attracting ideas that don't actually serve you because you're out of alignment with what actually serves you. So the way I look at all of this is like a song. Imagine your life like a song, okay? And then this is kind of a way to illustrate the law of attraction. So your life is a song, and you are harmonizing with that song, right? And the harmony has to sound good, right? For the song to sound good, for your life to be super fucking awesome, okay? And easy, what I mean, like high vibe, awesome, easy, no struggle, or at least low struggle, you know what I mean? Minimal struggle, for you to get all the things that you want, for you to get the abundance, the love, the clear skin, all the things easily, right? That's the good song. And it's over here, high. It's a high vibe song. So you harmonizing with it, that's you feeling good for no reason. And then that's you getting what you want easily, okay? But when you're singing out of key, that's like you, what's the word? Blocking the things that could come easily to you, right? When you feel bad, that's you singing off key, right? That's you being out of discord with the harmony that is your life, right? Because that harmony is what is natural. For the song to be harmonious and lovely, right? That's natural. For the song to be out of key, out of tune, that is unnatural. But that is what ends up happening when we feel bad. And when we feel bad, don't be afraid of feeling bad. Again, when we feel bad, that is only to say that right now we're singing off key. So instead of getting the things that we want, right, allowing them in, we're just resisting them. That's all that it means. It means that the thoughts that are currently in your mind, those thoughts are out of discord, not harmonious with, right? Out of discord with the melody of your life. That's all. As in, your inner being, your broader perspective, your source knows what's up. It knows the tune, okay? And you can sing along with it when you feel good. But when you feel bad, you simply don't know the fucking notes anymore. So you're totally off key and you're just grasping at random shit, in life. And so that's all that it means. You're singing off key. So, and again, in terms of thoughts and a practical sensibility, what it all means is you're just entertaining thoughts that are out of discord with your inner being's thoughts. Your inner being, who knows the song, right, is singing a song about how much it loves you, how much it accepts you, how much it supports you, how much it wants all the things for you, right? For your highest good, how any desire you want is already coming true, right? That's your inner being song. But then your song is like, I can't do it. It's unavailable to me. I suck. So when you sing a song of I suck, it's just totally out of discord with the song of your inner being, right? And so you're kind of blocking what's available. And everything is available, like ad infinitum, right? For you. Does this all make sense so far? So again, when you're thinking thoughts of, I can't, this is hard, oh, I'm frustrated, blah, blah, blah. When you don't see what's in front of you, because what's in front of you is always serving you. But when we're vibing low, we don't see it. We just do not see the solutions. We don't see the guidance. We don't see the inspiration. We don't see the answers. We don't see what there is to be grateful for in those moments. Because our lives are that perfect song, okay? It's an easy song. It sounds amazing, okay? Does this make sense? Is the song analogy making sense? Because it's all about harmony, right? You want to be in harmony with your inner being. You want to be able to see the big picture. You want to be grateful for the big picture too. But it's when we become so micro-focused in our lives and we think we have to control everything and like, oh, if I don't do this, everything's going to fall apart. Oh, I'm so frustrated. Oh, I'm so scared. That song, totally out of discord with what your inner being is singing, okay? And so when you sing that song, you feel like shit. And when you feel like shit, the only reason you feel like shit is because your song is totally out of discord, not harmonious with the song of your inner being. Does this make sense? I hope this fucking made sense. This is why we have to learn to accept ourselves, to love ourselves, to focus on the good in every single situation you could ever imagine. Because the meaning that we give situations create our point of a fucking attraction, right? So if I say that, oh, acne is the best thing that's ever happened to me, it taught me this about myself, it's made me able to help all these people with their acne, like, holy fuck, I'm so happy to have had it. And in terms of things you can have, it's actually pretty fucking easy, And so when I tell a totally different story about it, suddenly it doesn't seem so bad. Suddenly, and when I look at pictures, I'm like, oh, it wasn't so bad. Oh, and I just tell a totally different story today. And that informs, by the way, the experience of past Olenas. But this, again, is a very complex issue that I'm not going to touch on today because it is literally super fucking complex. My God. And trippy. So what I'm saying is that by telling a new story today about what you're feeling, by telling a new story about even your past self, you can make your point of attraction change for your past self and your present self and your future self. You can be a real miracle worker by only choosing to see things differently. That's all that it really comes down to. Choosing to see things differently, because it's a choice how you see things, right? And if you were used to seeing things as really dire and difficult and frustrating and heavy, the choice would now be to see it as light and good for you. Perfect. Unfolding as it should, right? With gratitude. And then you get a totally different experience. Suddenly you're like, holy fuck. The world opens up to you. And it's fucking amazing. And that's what I want for every single one of us. But all this stuff, like I find that the whole conversation around acne, because nobody talks about the law of attraction, because nobody talks about spirituality, there's a huge part that's just fucking missing, a gaping hole that will not be fulfilled, or filled, I should say, with diets, with supplements, with fucking even skincare. Like it will not, nothing can fill that void of disconnection from your real self. That's why I talk about all these spiritual things with such regularity, because there is nothing more important, nothing, than you knowing who you really are, knowing what your inner being knows, and harmonizing with that. Because anytime, again, you're out of discord with who you really are, it's going to feel shitty because it's fucking unnatural. Okay? Let me see what you guys are saying. Comments time. Kishla says, yay, yes, you create your thoughts. You choose your thoughts, yes, and you create your reality. Faux show. Bethy Bobana says, ooh, I have a question. How do I tell someone I'm not interested in being their friend? There's this guy who wants to be friends with me, but I find him really negative and draining. I mean, it depends how honest you want to be. Me, I think I would probably depend. It really depends on how close you are with a person. I would just kind of be like, I'm so sorry, I'm busy, and not hang out with this person, not even have that conversation with them, because a conversation like that, like, I don't want to hang out with you because your energy is really negative and draining, is a really egoic conversation. One where we focus on the separation between us as opposed to the oneness, right? Me seeing the ego in you is an ego-minded thing, right? So me seeing anything negative in you, that's ego. Me seeing the innocence in you, that's love. That's who I really am. And that feels so much better than being like, oh, you negative, you so negative, you know what I mean? So I would avoid even having a negative conversation about that, you know? And unless this person really honestly asked you, like, is there any reason why you're not hanging out with me as much? And then you can, in the most kindest way possible, explain to them why that would be. And without hurting this person's feelings and without it being an ego conversation. Because it's very easy when you're spiritual to fall into spiritual superiority, which is not spiritual at all. You know, it's an egoic kind of thing. It's your ego convincing you that you're more spiritual than somebody else is, and therefore you have the upper hand. But that's literally impossible if you were truly dialed into who you really are. You know what I mean? You would not feel as though you're better than anybody or worse than anybody. You know what I mean? So this is like a totally up to you thing. Whatever feels good. Do whatever feels good. But again, if you have a ego-driven conversation with somebody, doesn't mean you made a mistake in your sense. I mean, like in a human sense, maybe you can feel like you made a mistake, but in the spiritual sense, it isn't. It's just an experience. You don't have to give it any meaning like, oh, I fucked up. I'm not as spiritual as I thought I was. Oh my God. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm answering your question. I'm just riffing. Bethy Bobana says, I just don't vibe with him, but is it rude of me not to give him a chance? You don't have to give every single person a chance. You don't have to try to be friends with everybody, but you can certainly try to do your best to see the good in everybody. You know, to see at least their innocence and like it's better to bless a person in your mind, like, and forgive them totally for their negative vibes, for draining your energy, whatever, and just be like, I totally forgive you, I love you, and I bless you, and we'll meet some other time when it's the right time for us. You know what I mean? We'll be in each other's lives in a better way, maybe down the road. I'm open to that kind of thing. But a lot of people, they're like, oh, I hate this person. I just don't want to spend time with them. And there's all this judgment, right? Which, by the way, your point of attraction goes from up here to down here when we do that, right? When we're focusing on something that we don't like in another person, we'll find that we'll actually experience that in other people. We'll attract that exact same thing. Even if we've, run away from this person with these negative vibes, we'll create another person in our lives with the exact same negative vibes. We won't be able to outrun this point of attraction until we realize that it's not them, it's us. So I've had many energy drainers, negative people in my life, especially in my family. And it was funny. I think I was attracting similar people in my friendships as well when I ran away from my family. Because there was a time I literally ran away to another country. And it wasn't until I decided to change my own point of attraction, to change my own vibe, to change the way I see things, that I stopped attracting like negative people. Now I attract positive people like left and right. It's crazy. Like everyone around me is becoming spiritual and I'm just like, I didn't do this. I'm just being me. Like I'm focusing on here and not blaming all of you guys and not judging you. And you're ending up being so fucking amazing that like I end up wanting to spend time with you. What? So I think it's really easy to forget, because we get caught up in these little day-to-day shits in our experiences, right? And we really focus on them. But when we take a step back and see the big picture and that we're actually all one, but here I am in this body being a deliberate creator, trying to experience the highest version of the grandest vision I hold for myself, then it's a totally new thing. Then I don't want to be angry at you. I don't want to judge you. I don't want to criticize you. I want to see what I can do within myself to change this perception and therefore change this experience, right? That's how you become a deliberate creator. It's literally always deliberately choosing to see things differently. Because when you see that person as negative, that doesn't feel good, right? That doesn't actually harmonize with your inner being. That's out of discord. It really is, right? So this is all very interesting stuff. And it doesn't mean, again, that you have to be friends with people that you don't like. But what you'll find is when you raise your vibration and when you focus on the good in any situation or person in your experience, you'll find that that person might actually change just as a result of you changing. Does that make sense? You changing how you see things will change the way the things are. Yeah, it's really awesome. And this has worked with some of the most traumatic relationships in my life, where I was like, it's impossible that we ever will have a relationship. Everything shifted once I shifted. Okay? So it's really, 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 really important to really take responsibility for yourself first and always, and not make it about somebody else. It's never about anybody else. It just never is. They're remember, a reflection of your vibration. Okay? So I hope that answers your question. Probably not the way you thought. Manila says, that top looks gorgeous on you. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Emanuele Argentini says, hormonal issues. Emanuele Argentini is a doctor in Italia. Very lovely person. I don't know though how to answer your 2-word question. F Hosima says, "Hi, I have a skin question. Not today. Not today. No skin questions today. And also your question is too vague and not enough context anyway for me to be able to help you." Let's see. Ahita Tayal says, "What are your views on..." Okay, I don't know this brand, so Biotique. So I have no views on this brand, and today I have no views on skin stuff. And I don't do requests for reviews either, because people always email me like, "Can you do a review on this product, on this product, or on this product?" And I don't. I just do reviews of my clients' products, and that's plenty of reviews. Like, that's a lot of fucking reviews. You know what I mean? So I don't take extras on because I just don't have the time or just even the desire, because quite frankly, the majority of products on the market are shit. Okay, shit, absolute nonsense. So you sending me a product is usually, this is just in general. I know it sounds like a blanket statement, but yeah, generally, it's so rare that somebody sends me a product and it's a good one. Like, it's literally, I can count it on one hand. Okay, less. I think maybe like 3 times, twice or 3 times I've had people recommend good things. Otherwise, no. So, yeah, sorry. Bethy Bubana says, "So helpful. Thank you for giving me a different perspective on it." My pleasure. Yeah, it's all about seeing things differently. But seriously, that's an affirmation from, or a meditation, or however you want to call it, from A Course in Miracles. And I've seen it actually really change my life. Seeing things differently means all the uncomfortable things, you know? And I've had situations where I thought, like, in relationships and stuff, okay, we'll never bounce back from this. This relationship is ruined. I'll never be able to see you with love ever again. And I've surprised myself because I chose to see things differently, and the judgment kind of fell away. You know what I mean? And it's really the judgment of other people that keeps us stuck. It keeps us stuck. It doesn't keep them stuck. It's not about them ever, but it keeps us stuck. You know, by the way, when we judge other people, don't be fooled in thinking that you're just judging other people. You treat yourself that same way in your own mind, if not worse. So when we practice judging people less and less aggressively, you know what I mean? When we practice being less judgmental and less critical of other people, you'll notice you becoming less judgmental towards yourself. You notice yourself being more accepting and more loving towards yourself. And it's fucking beautiful, right? Because there is no other, by the way. There's just one of us here. And it's a very hard concept for these physical bodies to understand, because we see all these different fucking bodies. So it's like, you're tall, you're short, yeah. It's our brain's way of, it's a survival mechanism really, to judge, categorize, criticize, condemn shit, right? Because our brain's like, okay, I have to remember this because this feels bad. So I have to remember for next time, if a similar thing feels bad, that I avoid it. It's a survival instinct. That's why we fear the unfamiliar and we crave the familiar. It's just our survival instinct. And when we had, thousands of years of that way of thinking, that in these modern times, that's our middle brain, not our neocortex, not the new brain, but our middle brain that tends to think that way as a means to save you. But nowadays, there is really no saving you from anybody or anything, especially when you have these awarenesses like, oh, there's only one of us here, then really, I don't need any saving. So it's just a matter of telling yourself a new story of how things are, and not doing things from that survival, instinctual middle brain anymore, right? And a lot of what I'm talking about really stems from stress. We tend to be afraid of so much nowadays, and we don't even realize how stressed we are, right? And how stressful our thoughts are. And when we are not aware of these things, we end up really living in inflamed bodies, creating all the acne or whatever else, diabetes, whatever the fuck you want, hypertension, fucking strokes, whatever, okay? We also create discord in our relationships from this stressful mind, the stressful way of thinking, because it's old. It's on autopilot. It takes awareness to practice a new way, right? To see things a new way. And so, yeah, that's really the core of why shit goes wrong, or we create unwanted things in our experience. It's really about being mindful and aware of how you're contributing to your own experience. And many people are unaware that they're deliberate creators. And so they're creating undeliberately. Unintentionally? I don't even know. Doesn't resonate. Valentina Tsup says, this is so relevant. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate that, Valentina. Baromagnoli says, hi, Olena. How do you incorporate and practice these thoughts and the law of attraction into your everyday life so that they become something natural? One of my favorite things to do is and one of the first things that I did was I programmed these new thoughts into my phone to pop up throughout the day and surprise me. So at random intervals throughout the day, I would get like, I'm enough. Or, I am worthy just as I am. Like, those were new thoughts, because before I thought I was worthy only when I had the clear skin, or only when I said the right things, or, was a certain way, less of this, more of this, right? So that was a new thought. But holy fuck, it was transformational to see that popping up regularly. And I don't mean just those two. There's like, I think there's more than 50 affirmations that I have popping up throughout the day, all of the time. There's ones about my clients and my work, about how meaningful my work is, so that I remember that what I do isn't actually for me, right? Because it's so easy to get caught up in dumb shit, right? Your ego, survival, right? So yeah, I have affirmations about my health, like, I'm grateful to call this body home, for instance. Because before I didn't think of my body as a home. I thought it was just me. I thought this was all that I was. This body, this meat suit, right? I thought this was me. This was Olena. Olena had all these arms and legs, and Olena had all these thoughts, this collection of experiences. I thought that's who I was, the collection of experiences, those thoughts. But really, I'm the observer of those thoughts. I'm not those thoughts. I'm the awareness behind those thoughts, right? And so once I started, realizing this body was just a home, and I was actually lucky to have this home, right? So I'm like, oh, that was one that really shifted the way I viewed myself. And I started viewing this home with more love and gratitude than ever before when I introduced that thought into the thing, into the affirmations that will pop up throughout the day. I mean, And it was just a matter of adding new ones. Anything that resonated with me, anything that felt really true and good, because that's how you know it's true, if it feels good, right? I would just add to them. And at this point, I have, like I said, probably over 50 of these affirmations coming up on my phone every single day. And if you swipe to my notification screen, it's just full of them. So, and nowadays I don't even pay attention to them because they've become so normal. Do you know what I mean? And that's how things become normal, where you don't even have to pay attention anymore. It's just a normal thing. Yeah, of course I'm happy with this body that I get to call home. And of course I'm super grateful for it. Why wouldn't I be? Why would I want to look for things wrong with me if I can look for everything that's right with me, right? Another good one that I have is today I look for reasons to feel good. And that's literally my mornings. I think about it. And it's like, nothing is more important than I feel good. And when I'm feeling shitty, because that happens, I'm human. By the way, I may speak as though I'm so enlightened or spiritual or whatever. I'm still fucking human. Let's not forget for a moment. I'll remind you. But sometimes I do feel shitty. And when I feel shitty, there's that new thought. And the new one is I'm willing to see things differently. And nothing is more important than I feel good. And so I find myself reaching for better feeling thoughts, and it becomes like, at first it feels like an effort, but then it becomes easier and easier, and then I feel good again. So I find my feeling bad place, that place I visit less frequently, and I stay for a shorter amount of time, right? And that I think is a really good sign. You look for a relief, you don't look for perfection. You look for progress, I should say. Progress is a better word here. But you'll also find relief in this progress. When you feel less worse or less bad each time. You don't feel as sad for as long. That right there is a huge relief, right? And that takes a bit of effort, but we can all fucking do it. The other way I help myself stay centered and remembering who I really am, a deliberate creator, is surrounding myself with positive people and positive things that I follow even online. My feed is a place that is awesome and positive, with awesome people who inspire me, as opposed to people who fucking depress me or make me feel, like I'm worthless or whatever, because there is that kind of content, especially if you follow, one of my clients, she brought this up. She used to follow lots of models, and I can relate. I used to follow lots of models wanting to look like them. But by wanting to look like somebody else, I wasn't giving myself permission to think that I was beautiful. Because I was defining beauty by somebody else's standards, not by my own appearance, but by somebody else's appearance. And that's how you fall into these really subtle traps. You follow somebody and you think you're inspired by them, but your brain is like, this is frustrating, this is disappointing, I'm not like this person, I'm ugly, I'm not good enough, I'm blah, 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 right? So we have to be really mindful by how we're creating that kind of mind space for us, because many of us, we follow the news. The news will create lots of fear, and terrible point of attraction in you, and you'll be worried about the world around us and blah blah blah, and you'll be like, oh, society sucks, everything sucks, oh my god, what do we do? And then you create more instances of that. I mean, it's I can go on and on and on. So yeah, another way I help myself, of course, stay centered. I don't know if I finished saying this because I got off track a little bit, but is by reading all of these books that I talk to you guys about all the time. Like, I read them literally every day. That's how I stay focused. That's how I remember who I really am, right? Because it's really easy to forget. It's like Bethy Bubana was saying, I get this negative person, right? Right there in that instance. It's subtle, but you just forgot who you really are, right? And that's how we do it all day long. But the more we practice all these principles, the more we learn about the law of attraction, the easier it is to harmonize with our inner being, right? To stay on point, to practice thoughts that really actually feel good, that are true, right? To start attracting like a motherfucking manifesting queen rather than some fucking unintentional, forgetful sleeper. You know what I mean? So I hope this was interesting to you guys today. I feel like I still have tons to say on the subject of the law of attraction, and we can discuss it in even more depth next time or whenever you want. So let me know if you have any follow-up questions. I would love to hear from you. If you need any help getting clear skin the easiest way, the most direct way with skincare, then please check out my routine review service if you haven't already. And I will talk to you soon. This was Olena of popthepimple.com. Thank you so much for staying tuned and for engaging today. It was super fun as always. Go and have a sparkly AF day.